As I mentioned before, this Falcon 9 first stage will be attempting the first ever land landing back at Vandenberg Air Force Base. In order to accomplish this, the first stage executes a series of 3 engine burns: boost back, re-entry, and landing. This animation will give you a better idea of exactly what that first stage is going to do. So right now you can see the first stage ascending into the atmosphere, carrying the second stage. At about 2.5 minutes into flight, that second stage pops off, and the first stage executes a boost back burn to come back towards the pad. It then executes an entry burn to slow itself down, and then finally, in conjunction with opening its landing legs, it comes down for a landing burn right over the pad. Land landings have a number of advantages over water landings. First, they're not subject to ocean storms that might affect the drone ship. And secondly, landing on land significantly streamlines our post-launch processing of the recovered first stage. With land landings, we're able to refurbish the boosters right here at our facilities in Vandenberg rather than waiting for the drone ship to return all the way back to port. These types of efforts support our future goal of a 24-hour turnaround from landing to reflight. The ability to land rockets back on land at Vandenberg has been made possible through our recent Block 5 upgrades, including increasing the rocket's power so the vehicle is able to propel itself all the way back to land after accomplishing its primary mission. If successful today, this will be the first land landing of a Block 5 vehicle. To enable land landings, we also had to create a new landing zone, LZ4. You can see in these shots exactly how close to the launch site that landing zone 4 pad is. Work began on LZ4 back in 2016 and took about a year to complete. The site actually has an interesting history. Space Launch Complex 4, or SLC-4 for short, which is the entire thing you can see on your screen right here, was originally 2 separate launch pads, SLC-4 East and SLC-4 West. That first flew the Titan rocket family before being taken over by SpaceX. SpaceX refurbished SLC-4 East for the first Vandenberg Falcon 9 launch back in September of 2013, which is actually the first SpaceX flight that I saw as an employee. The other pad, SLC-4 West, has now been reconstructed as LZ4 to receive the rockets that launch literally right next door. Of course, both launch and landing pads are both clear of all personnel in the hours leading up to the launch. Now, it's important to note that regardless of how many successes we have, landing a first stage, much like launching a rocket itself, is always a very challenging task. Furthermore, because this is the first time we're landing the rocket back on land at Vandenberg, right next to the launch pad, this is an especially tricky one. Our most important objective tonight is to deliver the satellite SAOCOM 1A to orbit, but landing a first stage would be a significant achievement as well. If all goes well, we should be able to bring you live video coverage of the landing attempt as it happens. We are now just under 5 minutes away from the launch and still tracking no issues. At about T-minus 4.5 minutes, coming up very shortly, that transporter erector, the tower standing right next to the rocket, sometimes referred to as the strongback, will begin to retract away from the vehicle. The strongback's job is to transport the vehicle from the hangar to the launch pad and lift it to a vertical position, retracting just prior to launch. Inside of T-minus 90 seconds, you'll see a large plume of gaseous oxygen venting. This is just a normal part of the LOX bleed-off process. And then finally, at about T-minus 60 seconds, you'll hear the launch team call out Falcon 9 is in startup. This indicates that the Falcon 9's internal flight computers have taken control of the countdown. Just in summary, the range is still giving us the okay for launch. The weather continues to look beautiful. In fact, most of the SpaceX team is either outside of our headquarters or at Vandenberg itself.
Sorry, I'm just testing something here real quick.
As a reminder, if anyone
calls
for
the
countdown
launch,
net, we will have a backup launch opportunity on Thursday at the same time. Like I was saying, we are monitoring no problems with upper level winds or ground level winds, and there is not a cloud in sight. So with just about 5 minutes until launch, or excuse me, with just about 3.5 minutes until launch, let's listen into the countdown nets as we approach T-minus 0.
Stage 1 launch is still down.
Earth is flat with a firmament. Think about it. What are they doing?
Stage 2 LOX load is closed out. Gas closeouts is started. Falcon 9's in startup.
Falcon 9 Southcom, go for launch and landing.
Fifteen seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
Whoopsies.
3,
Sorry.
2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Damps the residue at the feet of it. Oh, look, fire coming down from heaven. Weird. It had 10 horns.
Power and telemetry nominal.
This actually
All 3
isn't.
stations are receiving.
This isn't a dragon, though.
You are looking at the Falcon 9 rocket as it ascends through the atmosphere, carrying the SAOCOM 1A satellite to low Earth orbit. Right now, the vehicle is passing through max Q, which is the point of maximum aerodynamic pressure on the airframe. The vehicle actually throttles itself down for this portion of the flight in order to reduce structural stresses.
Altitude 30 kilometers.
For those of you just joining us, we did have a successful liftoff from the pad at Vandenberg Air Force Base at 7:21 p.m., just as expected. Coming up at T plus 2 minutes and 19 seconds, we're going to have a series of 5 events happening all very, very quickly together. That's going to be main engine cutoff, stage separation, second engine start, boost back burn start, and fairing deploy. It's going to happen really fast, so let's watch the views we have on your screen.
100.
Coming up in about 10 seconds.
It breaks in pieces too? You gotta be kidding me. Daniel the prophet told us that. Look at that, it breaks in pieces.
And there you have it. We had a successful main engine cutoff and then a good stage separation.
Oh, we get to see the great iron teeth too.
Merlin vacuum engine lighting up right now, heating up.
The great iron teeth are we're gonna see in a second here too, when that booster tries to make fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of man.
See that fairing deploy on the right hand side of your screen right now.
We're in the end times, guys. Take this stuff seriously. It's no joke.
So right
See
now,
that plume behind the
2 separate views.
rocket on the
Right
left?
side of your screen, you can see that's a view from the top of the first stage, Falcon 9.
Revelation 17,
This is a shot.
Yeah, these are the kings of the earth.
Here in California. And on the right-hand side of
They
your screen,
burn
you
her
can
with
see
fire,
the bottom of
make
the
her
second
desolate
stage.
and naked. See that?
Marlin document continues to push that Falcon 1A
That's
satellite
ruining,
until
that's
the
destroying our
second
world
stage
right there.
The second stage will continue burning its Merlin 1 vacuum engine all the way until 10 minutes into flight.
See, we humans think this stuff is normal. I'm saying our world does.
What you're
You
seeing
guys
on the
don't know what's
left-hand
going
side
on
of
up
the
there.
screen is a beautiful shot from the ground in California.
Space
of the
exploration.
exhaust gases of that first stage.
Give me a break. Nothing to do with space exploration. We're watching a battle between Michael and his angels and Satan and his angels. There's the great iron teeth. See that? See those weird bubble, whatever that is? That is not an environment that we are supposed to be in. This is Revelation 13, verses 11 through 14. Except that it's not dragon. And it's Daniel 7, verse 7.
The action control system on that page as it maintains its attitude coming back down towards the path.
These great beasts. This is the fourth one that Daniel saw.
Boost back burn is now complete from that first stage. The next thing coming up at 5 minutes and 56 seconds will be the start of the entry burn. This entry burn happens just as the first stage hits the.
Let's watch
regions of the
some
atmosphere.
prophecy be fulfilled,
So it
okay?
can slow itself down and avoid damage to those
Go read
9
Revelation
elements which are
13,
entering
verse
first
13 in your Bible
into the
right
atmosphere.
now. Get your Bible out. Revelation 13, 13.
You can see periodic bursts from those cold gas thrusters on the side of the first stage. So for those of you just joining us, we are currently following the first stage as it heads back towards the LZ-4 at Vandenberg Air Force Base on the left-hand side of your screen, and on the right is the second stage of the rocket as it continues to ascend towards low Earth orbit. There it is. That's the start of the entry burn of that Falcon 9 first stage. This burn is only about 30 seconds. Right now, that first stage is mostly empty of fuel, so it's actually pretty light. Doesn't need that much force to slow it down.
Stage 1, entry burn, shutdown.
And that looks like the shutdown of the entry burn. You're getting views both from the top of the Falcon 9 first stage as it comes down through the air, and also from the ground, visible from California.
Stage 1 FTS is safe.
Seeing that the sun is now below the horizon, we probably won't see much more of the first stage until it lights up its engines for the final landing burn. That's going to happen at T plus
Stage
7
1
minutes
is
and
transonic.
14 seconds. So coming up almost in about 5 seconds now. There it is. That's the start of the landing
Stage
burn.
1 landing burn has started.
That Falcon 9 first stage should be approaching the ground just about in 5 seconds here. Let's watch as it attempts to land.
Stage 1 radars at the crate. Vandenberg, LZ-4, the Falcon is landing on.
And it appears that that Falcon 9 first stage has just stuck the landing at LZ-4 at Vandenberg Air Force Base. This is great news for everyone here at SpaceX. Reminder that this is the first time we've ever landed a rocket first stage back at Vandenberg Air Force Base. Great news for everyone here. We're all extremely excited. Like I said, most of our team is at the launch site right now, and they must be out of their minds. So that is awesome. Right now, however, that is not the end of our mission today. The primary mission is still ongoing. On the center of your screen, you can see that Merlin vacuum engine attached to the second stage, still pushing the SAOCOM 1A satellite into low Earth orbit. We're going to continue thrusting that Merlin vacuum engine until T plus 10 minutes and 8 seconds, when that second stage engine will cut off. That's an event called SECO, second engine cutoff 1.
So there you go.
Stage 2 FTS is safe.
Now let's talk about it. Let's see here. Screw you, SpaceX. We're out of here. Let's see. I got to remember what I'm doing. Present, or no, stop screen sharing. Okay, sweet. It worked. Or it looks like it's backwards or something. Anyway, see those drogue chutes? That's from this. Watch. This is re-entry. Orion capsule. A camera on board Orion capsule. You can see with the timer I had, it's about 2 minutes or something where it hits some serious drag and atmosphere. And just watch. I got it looping, so it'll play again. It's like past the hot part now, and it's gonna enter Earth right there. See that? Boom, right into the blue sky of Earth. In a matter of, I don't know how long, very short amount of time. Okay, watch right here. Starts getting hot. If you think this is normal, you think that this is nothing celestial happening, nobody breaking out of the Earth like through a firmament, or no, couldn't be, could it? If you're thinking like that, you have a big surprise coming. Here we go. Let's watch it go into Earth, and then I'm gonna. There we go, blue sky. All right, that was the Orion capsule, and yeah, SpaceX junk just pulled off another trick.